Hey folks, welcome back for another build video, and this time around we are never gonna stop firing ever. So as many of you are aware, the Bullet King is an exotic light machine gun that never needs to be reloaded. But while it does have a near infinite ammo capacity, anyone who has used this gun will know the base damage kinda sucks. So one thing we want to do here is buff this total damage as much as we can. And we've gone ahead and tried to do that with a combination of Striker's Battlegear and Sawyer's exotic knee pads. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For our specialization, we've gone with the Gunner for all of the synergy that it has with an LMG build, particularly the Incessant talent that grants 10% armor on kill, and the Emplacement talent, which grants 10% weapon handling while not moving, and that obviously also pairs really well with Sawyer's knee pads. For our primary weapon, we have the aforementioned Bullet King. As we talked about off the top, it has the Bullet Hell talent, which means the weapon never needs to be reloaded, and for every 100 bullets that hit an enemy, it replenishes some of your ammo to you and your allies. For our secondary weapon, we've gone with the Baker's Dozen, which is really just a placeholder here for any hard-hitting rifle that you want to add, whether it be the classic M1A or the 1886. I think both of those are a good combo with the Bullet King in particular, giving you another way to engage targets at long range, but providing you more stopping power when you need it. Alternatively, you could go with a shotgun here to give you some close range engagement options. But quite honestly, with this build, if you're engaging at short range, you're probably in a bit of trouble anyway. For our sidearm, we've gone with the Orbit, specifically for the Perfect Finisher talent. For our mask, we have our first piece here, but I'll go ahead and run through all 4 pieces right now to save some time. At 2 pieces, you get plus 15% weapon handling, which is very nice to have on any LMG build. At 3 pieces, you have plus 15% rate of fire, which increases the Bullet King's overall effectiveness, as well as increasing the speed with which you can build the Striker's Gamble stacks, which, as you can see down there, is the 4-piece bonus. Weapon hits increase total weapon damage, and stacks are lost at 1, 2, or 3 stacks per second, depending on how many stacks you actually have. For all 4 pieces of Striker's Battlegear here, we have a core attribute of weapon damage, a secondary attribute of either crit hit chance or crit hit damage, and then a mod of either crit hit chance or crit hit damage, depending on what you need to make your math work. For this particular build, we're rocking about 40% crit hit chance and 85% crit hit damage. Your mileage may obviously vary. As I previously mentioned, we've gone with both the Striker's Battlegear backpack and chest piece. The backpack gives us risk management, which increases the total weapon damage gained per stack from 0.65% to 1% per stack. That allows us to build our weapon damage even faster and also increases the overall cap of the weapon damage, which is also the reason for having the chest piece for this gear set, which has the Press the Advantage talent, increasing the max stacks from 100 to 200%. Though of course, 3 stacks are lost per second between 100 and 200 stacks, so you're not always going to have those available to you. But when you are sitting in an entrenched position, you can definitely build these stacks very easily and very quickly, particularly when you're playing in a group against tankier enemies. This is going to be a great way to get the Striker's Gamble bonus all the way up to plus 200% weapon damage. And as you can see there in the mod slot, we do have crit hit chance. And here we have Contractor's Gloves. It also gives us the 1-piece bonus for Petrov Defense Group, which is of course plus 10% LMG damage. We've maintained our weapon damage core. We have 8% damage to armor, and then we've rolled crit hit damage down there in that secondary attribute slot. For our holster, we have our last piece of Striker's Battlegear, unlocking that 4-piece bonus. And then obviously we also have weapon damage and crit hit chance in that secondary attribute slot. And then for our knee pads, we have the aforementioned Sawyer's knee pads, which I feel works particularly well with an LMG build, and even more so with a Bullet King LMG build. We're going to be sitting in a single position, firing almost non-stop, which means the Stand Your Ground talent can be active for the maximum amount of time. And as you can read there, whenever you are not moving, you are building stacks, increasing your total weapon damage up to a maximum of 30%. So you get an armor core to help you stay alive a little bit longer, and an additional 30% weapon damage on top of all of the weapon damage we're getting from the Striker's Gamble stacks. When you combine it all together, you have an absolutely lethal build to use with the Bullet King. And last up, we have our skills here. I've gone with the Stinger Hive and the Banshee Pulse skill. So the thought process here for me was, because we're using Sawyer's knee pads, because we're using an LMG build, we're not going to be moving very often. We're going to try and find our cover and stay there. So the Stinger Hive is a great way to keep your enemies from coming up behind you or encroaching on your position. When the Stinger Hive gets in range, it'll send out those micro drones, chase them away. And on top of that, because we don't have any skill tiers invested, our skills are going to be pretty weak, and I find that the Stinger Hive is still very effective without any skill tiers. Alternatively, you could go with the Revive Hive if you want to go the Hive route, which would just go a little more defensive. And for our second skill, we have the Banshee Pulse here. We have gone with the Gunner specialization, so we do have this unlocked. And again, I feel this is another great skill to use when you're stationary behind cover, particularly when an enemy is charging you and you're not sure you're going to be able to finish them off. You can use that Banshee Pulse to disorient them, give yourself some additional time to take them down. And again, it is another one of those skills that even at tier 0 can be very effective. So that's this build, a combination of the Bullet King, Striker's Battle Gear, and the lovely Sawyer's knee pads. So take this one out for a spin, let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and continue to help this channel grow so we can keep making build videos like this. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Detected.